Hi, I'm your host, Rick Sessinghouse, and excited to launch Flow Golf Podcast. Each episode, we will share stories, interview experts, and share cutting-edge strategies for peak performance. Here's my co-host, Hallam Morgan, to explain more about Flow Code Golf.
Thanks, Rick. Flow Code Golf is a framework of strategies, principles, and techniques that take us from fear to the state of flow, the state of optimal performance, and the zone where we play our best golf. You can find out more about Flow Code Golf at www.flowcode.golf. And I just want to finish up by saying this podcast is as much your podcast as it is ours. So please ask questions, provide feedback, and get engaged. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. Super excited to be back for another live flow boost. Today, to kick things off, I want to say first of all, welcome back. Today we're going to focus on state. We want to talk about the importance of your mental, emotional, and physical state for golf performance. Now, my question for every single one of you that are here listening in is, do you want to hit better golf shots and shoot lower scores? My assumption is that every single person listening here wants to achieve those things. So the question then becomes, how do we do that? How do we hit great golf shots? How do we shoot lower scores? Now, I'm in complete agreement, and the whole Flow Code team are in complete agreement, that your golf swing absolutely matters. Your club face tells the ball where to go. Physics doesn't lie. So we need to keep working on our golf swings. We do. But the question becomes for everyone, why is it that sometimes I could be on the driving range, hitting incredible shots, swing feels smooth, everything feels easy, I'm focused, I'm composed, I can't miss a shot. And then I walk to that first tee box 5 minutes later and it all falls apart. We believe at Flow Code that wasn't your golf swing. We believe it was your state, because you didn't forget how to swing a golf club in the 5 minutes as you walked to the first tee box. What shifted though was the state that you were in. Mental, emotional, and physical state shifted. Now, what I mean by that is heart rate increased, grip pressure got tight, and your tempo got fast. And when that happens, we're no longer producing the same golf swing. So I want to share with all of you today some of the different ways that we can shift our state on demand, because I want all of you to leave today with complete understanding and belief that you are in control of your state. Not the environment, not your friends, not your playing partners. You're in control of your state. And you have the ability to shift your state on demand in any moment. But the other important component to this is that all of us are unique. I'm sure we have so many different listeners listening in right now, and all of you have different golf swings, different personalities, different preferences. And equally, all of you will have a different combination of techniques that help you shift state most effectively. We call that your flow code, your code for flow. So I want to share with you all of the ways that you can possibly use to shift your state in any moment, because I think we're not taught all of the other ways, all the different ways we can use. I think a lot of us, we hear, take a deep breath. And that's about as far as it goes. When you feel nervous, when you feel stressed, when you feel frustrated, just take a deep breath. Now that's one technique we could utilize. And there's lots of ways that we can manipulate our breath. But there are also so many other techniques we can use to shift our state in any moment. And it's incredibly important that we become aware of all of the possibilities so we can figure out what works best for us as individuals. So I want to first of all explain a few stories, provide a few stories on how this has been so important for us in our training and how you could apply the same methodology. Because I want you to all think in your mind that there's no proven one right way. You guys have to figure out through your own past experiences, through the training that we give you at Flow Code, which techniques you enjoy the most and which techniques are most effective for you. So I want to take you back to an event that we did in person. an event that I hosted. It was actually in Pennsylvania in the United States. And we were working predominantly with junior golfers. And basically what we did, we asked the junior golfers to try and shift their state on demand. We were measuring their state with a brainwave activity device called Focus Calm. And we were challenging them, looking at the score on the app, to shift their state from what we call active, so a lot of thinking, a lot of cognitive processing, to what we call Focus Calm. And we were challenging them to use their own techniques. Now, there was this one student who really struggled to shift his state. And we ended up giving him some tips. We said, try breath, try visual, try sound, try body scans, try touch. We were using all these different techniques. But for some reason, he could not shift his state. And we're like, what is going on? What's he going to do? And then all of a sudden, he went down into like a crouched position, almost like a squat position. And his score went through the roof. He became focused. He became calm. We're like, what happened there? Why did his state shift when he went into that squat position? So I asked him to do it again. I said, go into the squat position again. It did the same thing. He got into a focused and calm state. So we repeated it again, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. And every single time it seemed to shift his state. And we're like, what is going on? So I asked him, I said, why did you decide to go into that squat position? And at first he wasn't really sure. It just felt quite intuitive. And he said, oh, I'm not really sure. Sometimes when I'm waiting for slow play in front of me, I kind of chill by my bag in the fairway in this squat position. It feels relaxing. And as we dug a little deeper, I almost saw like a light bulb. And I've got one above my head here. It was like this, light bulb going off. And a light bulb went off in his head. And he was like, well, actually, no, I think about it. I play a ton of baseball and I played so much growing up. And he said, I'm a catcher. I spend all my time in this position, focused in the present moment on that ball. Playing catcher is a place where I feel very calm, very focused. I feel good. I've got a lot of good memories about that place as well. I'm never in the future. I'm never in the past. I'm always here, right in the present moment, fully locked in on that ball. So it was so interesting to see how he had utilized the past experience, an environment where he was focused and calm somewhere else, and he brought that, he recalled that into the present moment to shift his state on demand. Now have a little think about where he could apply that technique. So going down into this squat position, we had the conversation. We were like, if you know this works now, every time you get into that position, it takes you back to that catcher role. And in that catcher role, you can instantly connect to a focused and calm state. We started to ask the question of where could he apply that technique? Immediately, we discussed obviously in the fairway, like he already does, but he can do that with more intention. But of course, we discussed on the putting green. Whenever he gets onto a putting green and he's waiting for his playing partners to putt out or to read their putts, he can be there very intentionally, getting himself into that focused and calm state. Now that gives him an incredibly powerful tool that 95% of his competitors do not have, which is his code for flow. And he can use that either to get into the optimal state, or he can use it to reset. Let's imagine he's had a challenging hole. Let's imagine he's hit one out of bounds off the tee. He's maybe had some struggles getting the ball up to the green. And now he has a moment maybe to make an important bogey putt. And as he prepares himself, he can get into that state, use that technique to reset, get himself back into the present moment, fully focused, fully calm, and ready to allow himself to make a great putting stroke and to give himself the best opportunity to make that putt. That's the power of having your code for flow. But the unique component here is that he doesn't just think that's going to work for him. He knows that's going to work for him. And he takes full ownership now of that technique. It's his technique. It's no one else's. It's not my technique. It's not David's technique or Ryan's technique or Nicole's technique. It's his technique. And when a player takes ownership of their own code for flow, the power of it gets amplified so much more because it's yours. You own it. You've discovered it. No one else has prescribed it to you. So I wanted to share that quick story. And now I also want to give you all a better understanding of all the possible techniques that you could utilize to shift your state. I want to set you all the task of going out this week and exploring, experimenting with techniques that might sometimes seem out the box, some techniques that might sound or seem a bit strange, but stuff that you can connect back to your own personal experiences, back to moments when you've been most in flow. So there are 4 ways that we teach at Flow Code that you can shift your state in any moment. The first one is called sensory flow. So you can use any of your human senses to shift your state in any moment. You can use your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your touch, your body, your taste. You can use all of your human senses to shift your state in any moment. Neither of them, none of them are more effective than the other. It's about what works best for you as an individual. The second way that you can shift your state is through what we call cognitive flow. And cognitive flow is about your mindset, your perspective. So we teach 7 flow mindsets at Flow Code that can help you shift your state through cognitive flow. And I'll list them all quickly. And of course, I can share more details about them at a later date. But the first one is gratitude. By being in a gratitude mindset, we can shift our state very quickly because gratitude and fear don't live in the same place. You can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. So bringing a mindset of gratitude to your golf game, to your life, is incredibly powerful at shifting state in any moment. The second is creator mindset. Being creative, being an artist, imagining a blank canvas and painting your picture, using visualization through that process, getting back to our creative roots when we're being childlike can be incredibly powerful in shifting your state. The third is observer mindset, being more self-aware, zooming out and imagining yourself from a third-person perspective, not getting caught up in our own mind and our own ego, but trying to see everything we do from a third-person perspective. So increasing those levels of self-awareness can be incredibly powerful. The next mindset we teach is awe mindset. So by bringing an awe mindset to any moment or any situation, we can shift our state at the click of a finger. We're lucky with golf because we play in such beautiful environments. We play out on the golf course surrounded by nature, and we have the opportunity to be in awe of our environment. Just to take a moment as we're walking down the fairway and say, wow, be amazed. How beautiful is this out here? We also have the opportunity to be in awe of the game of golf. Golf's not a simple sport. Golf is a complex sport. We hit a tiny ball with a tiny club face, sometimes 300 yards in one direction, and to a really small dispersion. We can be in awe of the fact that we have the skill set, the ability to do such a thing. It's incredible. So by applying a state of awe, a mindset of awe to every situation, we can shift our state instantly. The next mindset is growth mindset. Growth mindset is incredibly powerful. It's about believing every single situation is an opportunity to learn. So it's about taking on the identity of a learner, not necessarily taking on the identity of the winner. Yes, that's important, but the way we become the winner is by taking on the identity of the learner. I will learn from every single situation that I face. When we learn from every single situation, we guarantee growth. That growth mindset is so important and can shift our state because we look at things from a different perspective. We don't see failure as a negative. We see failure as an opportunity to build another block to get us closer towards our goals. The next and final one, and I'll tell you the seventh as well, but the sixth one is playful mindset. Let's get back to being kids. Let's get back to being children. A lot of you will have joined Josh Alpert's Flow Boosts on a Friday. A lot of you will have met Josh Alpert. Josh Alpert is the epitome of the playful mindset. Creating games, creating challenges at every single opportunity. We do it so much when we're kids. We make a game out of everything. And when we're in that playful mindset, we immediately shift our state. We become more in flow, more in the present moment, more engaged, more excited. And when we're in those kinds of states, we play better golf. We hit better golf shots and shoot lower scores. The final mindset's a bit unique. It's called transpersonal mindset. And it's all about our understanding and awareness of how our actions, our thoughts, and our behaviors impact others. So I want to connect it back to just being in service of others. It's about taking a mindset into every single day and every single opportunity of being in service of others. Because when we're in service of others, that immediately shifts our state as well. It's very difficult to be fearful when we're being in service of others. You see so many people that commit their lives to voluntary work, and the amount of fulfillment they get from that experience is enormous. So how can we apply just small elements of that, of being in service, every time we step out onto the golf course, every time we wake up in the morning? So they're your 7 flow mindsets that can help you utilize cognitive flow to shift your state in any moment. The third way we can shift our state in any moment is through our environment. Our environment impacts our state significantly, both from a positive lens and also from a negative lens. For example, on a golf course, we're more likely to be in flow. We're surrounded by nature, beautiful trees, hopefully nice weather. On the flip side, being in a little box office with 4 walls around you, trapped in small, staring at a screen, probably not optimal for creating flow. So our environment can impact our state both positively and negatively. Really start to consider how you can optimize all of your environments that you experience on a daily basis to create the best state possible. But environment isn't always in our control, especially in the game of golf. We don't dictate the golf course, the condition of the golf course. So we have to have other alternative solutions to manage our state. And we can use our human senses, we always have them, and we can use our mindset, cognitive flow, to shift our state in any moment. The final and fourth way that you can shift your state is through your social surroundings. People can impact your state both positively and also negatively. Having an awareness of that is incredibly important, right? Surrounding yourself with people that raise you up rather than push you down is an incredibly powerful solution to optimizing your state as well. I've been around people that bring me energy all the time, and I'm hyped up. Even if I feel tired, I'm excited, I'm energized, I'm ready to go. And then I've been around other people where I felt energized and excited until I spent time with them and they bring me down. How can you try your best, not always guaranteed, but how can you try your best to surround yourself with people that bring you energy rather than drain you of energy? But again, we have to be conscious that when we play golf, especially in tournaments, that's not always in our control. Who we're paired with isn't always up to us. So we have to, if we know we're going to be paired with someone that might be draining energy, we have to have alternative solutions. Even if you're an incredibly sociable person, if you're a very sociable person and you rely on others, you get that boost from other people, that's great. But there are going to be times when you don't get that choice. You're playing with the person that just does not want to talk. They've got their blinkers on, they don't want to know you, they don't want to talk to you, and we can't allow that to be detrimental to our performance. So what other solutions do you have? What other codes for flow do you have to get yourself into your best state to perform when it matters most? And I suggest every single one of you start to look at the sensory solutions and the mindset solutions, because we always have access to our breath, to our eyes, to our ears, to our touch, to our body. And we always have access to our mindset, the way we perceive any situation. So if we can leverage and build a code for flow around our human senses, and if we can build a code for flow around our mindset, no one can take that from us. We have it, and no one can take it. So it's something that you can utilize in every single situation, on the golf course, but also off the golf course in life as well. So guys, I know we're about at time here, so thank you again for listening. Always appreciate and being able to share these different topics. I hope that was beneficial. I hope that was interesting and useful to get you opening your mind to all the possible ways that we can shift our state. Don't just think deep breath. Yes, deep breath could be one solution, but start thinking outside the box. How could I use my eyes? How could I use my ears? How could I use my touch? How could I use even my taste? How could I use my body? How could I use the 7 flow mindsets that Hallam spoke about in order to shift my state in any moment? And the most powerful thing you can do once you get to grips with this is start to stack techniques on top of one another. So you might say, you know what? Yes, I'm going to use breath. I'm going to inhale through my nose for 4 seconds, exhale through my mouth through what we call pursed lips for 8 seconds. But whilst I'm doing that, I'm also going to close my eyes. I'm also going to feel my fingertips tingle. I'm also going to listen for distant sounds in my environment. And when I combine those techniques and stack them on top of one another, the impact of those techniques starts to amplify as well. So have some fun experimenting with that over the coming weeks. I would love to hear as well some feedback on what everyone's code for flow is and to see all of the unique ones. And until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day and we'll speak soon. Thank you all. Yes, John, to be clear, did you mean 300 yards in one shot? I didn't say 300 yards in the right direction. It could be 300 yards left for me personally. But I know, John, that would probably take you, 3 shots to hit it 300 yards? But, you know, at least it's straight. At least it's straight. Daniel, thank you so much. Have a great Thanksgiving as well. Everyone in the US, enjoy celebrating. Really appreciate it. Sebron, thank you so much. Ryan, appreciate it. Richard, all the best. Fernando, thanks for joining from Chile. Great to see you. David, thanks for joining from Uganda. Always a pleasure. Thank you all. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will catch up soon. For those of you who are available tomorrow, Dr. Bob Winters will be back again. Always love Dr. Bob Winters' live flow boosts. So if you can join Tuesday at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and that is 3 p.m. UK time, jump on. He always brings huge amounts of value, lots of amazing stories and information for you to take away. Have a wonderful rest of your day all, and we will catch you soon.